What's going on, you wild tributes out there? Your two favorite Hunger Games enthusiasts are back tonight. It's me and Logan Myers. We're back tonight, and we're talking about the brand new film from the Hunger Games franchise. The last one came out in 2015. We're talking about the prequel based on the best-selling book.
The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Mr. Snow, let me ask you one final time. What are the Hunger Games for?
That's right, a prequel film. The last movie came out 8 years ago. This is a prequel, takes place during the 10th Hunger Games. And we have a young Cornelius Snow in this film, played by Tom Blythe. And essentially, he's a young, dashing, good-looking guy during the Hunger Games. He's a mentor of Rachel Zegler's character in this film. And of course, sparks fly and they form this relationship.
It's an interesting setup here. We have Snow, played by Donald Sutherland from the, original trilogy, the trilogy that took place with Jennifer Lawrence, of course, over, the period of 2012 to 2015 with 4 movies. So we got to know Snow as the villain, who we all know. Here in the prequel, he's just like any of the other, members there. He isn't all bad or all good in this one. He's kind of meant to be the lead in this one. So it's an interesting setup. And like you mentioned, it's all about his relationship with Lucy Gray Baird, played by Rachel Zegler, from District 12. And we remember from the previous movies, District 12 is like the impoverished district where, people are in really bad poverty and they need this mentorship. And that's, in this movie, we have Cornelius Snow. He mentors the female District 12 tribute, who is Lucy Baird, played by Rachel Zegler. And in this movie, unlike the last movies, there's a lot of singing, isn't there? This one was more like a musical, and she, utilized her talents in this film to do that. But it kind of threw me off. I didn't know that it was going to be a musical. So when she started singing, I was kind of thrown off by that. I guess people that had read the prequel, the book and everything knew about that, but I wasn't familiar with this. I went in without watching any of the trailers. So that kind of, threw me off guard hearing her sing.
It made it for more like a silly tone. I wasn't expecting that either. It turned into a musical throughout the duration of the film, I should say. And I wasn't really expecting that. Where the original trilogy is a little more serious, this felt a little more lighthearted at times and not as serious, which kind of brought me out of the movie.
Yeah, agree with you. It's a totally different tone. Whereas the 4 movies before, there's like a lot at stake, life and death situation, a lot of action nonstop. This one, so spent a lot of time setting up Snow and who he was before he became, the villain that we knew from the later films. But pretty good performances from the young cast. Tom Blythe as Snow, he did a great job leading the film. Stepping into the role that Donald Sutherland, played before. But as this young man, you believed him. You believe that, he could be this kind of mentor to the character. And you saw throughout the course of the film here with the events that happened during the Hunger Games in this and what happens in Panem, kind of, start sowing the seeds in him where he's going to eventually go to the dark side, we'll say, because there is a lot of juxtaposition here with the Hunger Games and Star Wars, of course, light and dark side. And here, he mostly gets his good side, obviously, from Rachel Zegler's character. But by the end of the film, with what happens with them, it kind of, when they start straying from one another, you start seeing, him embrace kind of the bad side and gain this power and become more corrupted as the movie goes on.
Yeah, in ways he definitely becomes Darth Vader. I can see that for sure. Some similarities. But yeah, I really liked his character in this, a younger version, and what he's going through and how he changes over the years as seen by Donald Sutherland's character in the previous films. I thought that was a really cool transformation. The love interest was okay. Rachel Zegler was decent in the movie. I don't think she was awful or anything, but not really as good as, Jennifer Lawrence's character, for example. One character I did want to bring up is Viola Davis. She plays Dr. Volumnia. I thought she was really great as the deranged games designer, and her outfits in the movie were ridiculous. One dress, it looked like it had blood all over it. I thought that was really cool. And then Jason Schwartzman's showboating character Lucky Flickerman I thought was really great in this too.
Yeah, those two characters reminded me of, the Hunger Games movies before that with Stanley Tucci's character, like the flamboyant guy. That was kind of like Jason Schwartzman in this one. You mentioned Viola Davis. She was cool. She had an interesting look, like you mentioned, and she had that eye. She had that eye that was dead. And I think it might have been a glass eye or something that was throwing me off. But she did a really good job, like playing that part, playing that character, and sort of coming across Snow and influencing his character too. And we should mention that this whole movie takes place during the 10th Hunger Games. That's where we are in the timeline of things. So it kind of puts things into perspectives. We see a lot of, the games themselves. We see several set pieces. It reminded me a lot of the other movies where they're basically like zombies. And one of the action pieces, the characters actually have rabies. And with rabies, characters that have rabies, when animals get rabies, they have this hydrophobia, fear of water. So there's a scene where the drones come in and drop water in, and you see them all afraid. So there's a lot of similarities with the other Hunger Games movies here. We kind of see it back when it was bare bones before it got, super high tech as the years went on. But those scenes were interesting here. Just overall for me with this movie, there wasn't a whole lot new here, or, it just, like we had talked about before, it didn't feel necessary, like that we needed this. It felt kind of like they were just going for a cash grab here, maybe to set up another trilogy of the younger versions. But, I wasn't into it as much as I was into the original trilogy, and having read those books too, there's not a lot here that I was thrilled about, we'll say.
I definitely wasn't excited to see this movie over Thanksgiving weekend. My wife is a huge Hunger Games fan and has a box set, and she always watches the original 4 movies.
Mm-hmm.
But wasn't really excited. Didn't watch any trailers for this, so I didn't know what to expect. In terms of directing, I think Francis Lawrence did a pretty decent job. Not terrible, but not groundbreaking or anything like that. Bringing in Coriolanus Snow as a young character, I thought the actor did a good job. Rachel Zegler was decent. The relationship was okay. I thought the other characters we talked about, Viola Davis and Jason Schwartzman, were probably the best performances in the movie. I think really the great aspects of the film are the production design and costume design. Looked really fantastic. Did some great makeup work as well. But there was a particular scene with Schwartzman's character. It reminded me of like TV back in the 1950s, like had that vibe to it, much like Stanley Tucci's character in the original films. So I really appreciated that, but nothing new, nothing we needed to see. I thought the original 4 films were good where they ended, and we didn't need to see any more of this. So I wasn't excited, and definitely didn't help with this film, because I watched it once, and a movie I'll probably never rewatch again. A little too long for me too. Though another complaint about this movie, it really dragged the last half an hour, so you really feel it. So that being said, Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 Jason Schwartzman hairpieces.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. Nothing groundbreaking here. Not terrible, though. Not a bad movie by any stretch of the imagination. Just nothing that's going to like get me back into this franchise, full fledged. And it wasn't awesome or anything. It was just kind of like, okay, that was cool. It looked great. The costumes were great. It was cool seeing Schwartzman, Viola Davis. The leads were great. Tom Blythe. I hadn't really seen him in anything before, so he was impressive. Good. Nothing bad about this film. It's just like, too long, and didn't bring me into this world. It didn't grab me, and that's fine. We can have movies like this. It wasn't a complete waste of time. You're not going to waste your time watching the movie. It's just, it's a movie that I'm not going to revisit anytime soon, if ever. I'll watch the other 4 movies if I do revisit the Hunger Games. And so, yeah, I'm going to agree with your score. I'm going to do the same exact thing. 3 out of 5 Rachel Zegler hairpieces.
So I want to hear from all you District 12 residents out there. What did you like about Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes? What didn't you like about it? What's your favorite film in the franchise? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to click subscribe. Also, check out these wild Katniss impersonators on Facebook, X, and Instagram at our website, Cinephellas.com, for the latest, greatest TV, movie news and reviews.
So thank you guys for watching our review of Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. We want to hear what you guys enjoyed about the movie, so please leave a comment and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, of course. Follow along with us on all our social media pages, our website, Cinephellas.com, as well as Facebook, Instagram, and X. We'll be back very soon with another great movie review. I'm Uncle Henry Everdeen.
And I'm Aunt Jennifer Lawrence signing out until the next movie review for Cinephellas.
Cheers! I'd like to volunteer my hairpiece for tribute.